Welcome back to Word Journey, the channel that helps you build confidence, fluency, and a strong foundation in English step by step. Let me start today's video with a simple question. Have you ever known the right English words in your mind, but when it's time to speak, your mind suddenly goes blank? You freeze. You hesitate. You start thinking too much about grammar or pronunciation, and before you know it, the moment is gone. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of English learners around the world experience the same problem. They understand English, they study English, but when it's time to speak, their brain just doesn't respond fast enough. That's because speaking English fluently is not just about knowing vocabulary or grammar. It's about training your brain to think in English naturally, automatically, and confidently. In today's video, we're going to explore exactly how to do that. You'll learn how to train your brain to speak English just like you train a muscle. I'll share practical techniques, examples, and exercises you can use every day to reprogram your mind for English fluency. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand how to build a strong English-speaking mindset, one that helps you speak clearly, think faster, and stop translating from your native language. So get ready, because your journey to confident English speaking starts right now, here on Word Journey. Part 1. Why you struggle to speak fluently. Before we talk about how to train your brain, let's understand why speaking is difficult for many learners. Think about this. You can probably read and write in English quite well. You might even understand a lot when you listen to English movies or songs. But when it comes to speaking, everything feels harder. Why? There are three main reasons. 1. You think in your native language first. When you try to speak, your brain translates from your first language into English. That takes time and you lose confidence. 2. You focus too much on grammar and mistakes. You want to speak perfectly, so you stop yourself every time you're unsure. That constant self-correction slows down your speaking. 3. You don't practice active speaking. Many learners spend hours reading or listening to English, but they rarely speak it. Your brain learns what you practice, and if you don't practice speaking, your brain won't be ready when you need it. So, if you want to speak fluently, you have to train your brain to think and respond in English automatically. Let's learn how. Part 2. Understanding the English brain. Imagine your brain as a network of roads. When you first start learning English, your brain builds small, weak roads between words, ideas, and meanings. Every time you practice, those roads become stronger, smoother, and faster. Eventually, your brain can travel from thought to speech without stopping or translating. That's what we call the English brain, a mental state where you don't have to think about every rule. You just speak naturally, the same way you do in your native language. To develop this English brain, you need to do two things. Input English every day by listening and reading. Output English actively by speaking and thinking in English. When you do both consistently, your brain starts connecting English words and ideas directly without going through your native language. Let's talk about specific ways to train your brain to do this. Part 3. Training Technique 1. Think in English daily. The first and most powerful habit is to think in English as much as you can. You might be wondering, how do I think in English? It's simple. You describe what's happening around you in English in your mind. For example, you wake up and say to yourself, I'm getting out of bed. I'm going to brush my teeth. I feel sleepy, but I have to start my day. When you're walking, you can think, the weather is nice today. I can hear birds. I'm going to the store to buy milk. These simple sentences help your brain build automatic English pathways. You don't have to speak out loud. Just form short thoughts in English. Start with easy ones and grow from there. Over time, you'll notice that your brain naturally starts using English words without effort. That's your English brain waking up. Part 4, Training Technique 2. Use the shadowing method. The second technique is called shadowing, a method used by many successful language learners. Here's how it works. You listen to a short piece of English audio, maybe a podcast, a YouTube clip, or a movie line, and then you repeat it immediately after the speaker, trying to match their tone, speed, and rhythm. You don't pause the audio, you speak with it. This trains your brain to connect listening and speaking instantly. It improves your pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency all at once. Start with short clips or simple dialogues. Repeat them several times a day. When you shadow regularly, your brain starts predicting words and phrases. That's how you move from slow, hesitant speech to fast, confident English thinking. Part 5, Training Technique 3. Use chunk learning. Instead of memorizing single words, train your brain to remember chunks, small groups of words that naturally go together. For example, instead of memorizing go and to separately, learn the phrase go to school. Instead of just look, learn look for something or look forward to it. Why? Because native speakers use word combinations, not isolated vocabulary. When you practice chunks, your brain starts to recognize patterns and recall complete phrases faster. You don't have to build sentences word by word. They come naturally. Some common English chunks include, how's it going? I'm not sure about that. That sounds great. I have no idea. It depends on the situation. When you use chunks, your fluency improves dramatically because your brain retrieves full phrases instead of struggling to translate each word. Part 6, Training Technique 4. Speak daily, even alone. Here's a truth about language. If you don't speak, you won't improve. You don't need a partner or teacher to practice. You can speak alone anytime, anywhere. Try self-talk, talking to yourself in English about anything. For example, I'm cooking dinner. I need to cut the vegetables first. Then I'll boil some water. Or talk about your day. Today was busy. I had a meeting in the morning and went to the gym in the evening. You can also describe your feelings. I'm tired but proud because I studied English today. Speaking alone helps you become comfortable forming sentences. It trains your brain to connect thoughts and words quickly. The more you do this, the faster your brain responds when you talk to real people. Part 7, Training Technique 5. Listen intensely, not passively. Many learners listen to English all the time, songs, movies, podcasts, but they do it passively. They don't engage with what they hear. To train your brain, you must listen intensely. Here's how. Choose a short English clip, 1 to 2 minutes. Listen carefully and try to understand every word. Write down what you hear. Repeat sentences out loud. Listen again and compare your version with the original. This deep listening improves your comprehension and teaches your brain real English patterns, pronunciation, grammar, and sentence flow. When your ears and mouth work together, your brain becomes faster at processing English naturally. Part 8. Training Technique 6. Repeat to build memory. Repetition is the mother of mastery. You can't train your brain by doing something once. You need to repeat it many times. When you repeat English words, phrases, or conversations, your brain creates stronger neural connections. It's like lifting weights. Every repetition makes your brain stronger. Try this. Choose 5 new phrases every day. Repeat them 10 times out loud. Use them in real or imaginary conversations. After a few weeks, you'll notice those phrases come out automatically when you speak. No translation, no hesitation. Part 9. Training Technique 7. Visualize English. Your brain loves images. So one great way to train it is by connecting English words to pictures, not translations. When you hear apple, imagine an apple in your mind, not the word in your native language. When you learn run, imagine someone running. This helps your brain associate English words directly with meaning, not translation. Try using flashcards with pictures instead of translations. Describe what you see in English. This is a boy running. The boy looks happy. He's wearing a red shirt. The more you visualize, the more your brain learns to think directly in English. Part 10. Training Technique 8. Use mini stories. Mini stories are short, simple stories that help your brain learn grammar and vocabulary in context. Instead of memorizing rules, you hear and repeat natural English sentences. For example, there is a boy. His name is Alex. Alex loves music. Every day he plays the guitar. Then you can change the story slightly. Yesterday, Alex played the guitar for his friends. Tomorrow, he will play at a concert. Mini stories teach your brain how English sentences change naturally with time, action, and emotion, just like real communication. Part 11. Training Technique 9. Stay emotionally connected. Your brain learns faster when you feel emotions. If you're bored or stressed, your brain doesn't absorb information well. But when you're happy, curious, or inspired, you learn quickly. That's why you should connect your English practice to things you love, your hobbies, interests, and dreams. If you love music, learn English through songs. If you love cooking, watch English recipe videos. If you love travel, read English travel blogs or vlogs. When your brain enjoys what it's learning, it remembers faster and stronger. Part 12. Training Technique 10. Change your environment. To truly train your brain, surround yourself with English. Make English part of your daily environment. Change your phone settings to English. Label objects in your room with English names. Follow English-speaking YouTube channels and podcasts. Write your daily to-do list in English. When your environment is full of English, your brain starts treating it as a natural language, not just something you study. Part 13. Training Technique 11. Use questions to think fast. When you train your brain, you must also train your reaction speed. A great way to do this is by asking and answering simple English questions quickly. For example, what do you like to eat? Where do you live? What are you doing today? Why are you learning English? Ask yourself these questions out loud and answer immediately. Don't worry about perfection. Focus on speed and flow. This exercise strengthens the connection between your thoughts and your words. Part 14, Mindset. Believe you can speak. Your mindset is just as important as your practice. If you constantly tell yourself, "My English is bad," or "I can't speak fluently," your brain believes it. But if you say, "I'm learning," or "I'm improving every day," your brain becomes motivated to work harder. Speaking English fluently is not about being perfect. It's about communicating your ideas clearly. Confidence is what makes you sound fluent, even when you make mistakes. So, believe in your ability. Speak with courage. Every mistake is a step forward. Part 15, Example Conversation, Using the English Brain. Let's see how two learners might apply these techniques in real conversation. Historia. Hey Alina, you're speaking so fluently these days. What's your secret? Alina. Thanks, Historia. I've been training my brain to think in English. Historia. Really? How do you do that? Alina. Well, I try to think in English all the time. When I cook, I describe what I'm doing. When I walk, I talk to myself about what I see. Historia. That's smart. Do you study grammar too? Alina. Not much. I focus more on listening, repeating, and shadowing. I learn grammar naturally through stories and conversations. Historia. I see. And does it really help? Alina. Definitely. At first, it was slow, but after a few weeks, my brain started responding faster. I stopped translating in my head. Historia. That's amazing. I'll try it too. Alina, you should. Just remember, speak every day, even if you're alone. Practice makes your brain stronger. This kind of dialogue shows how mindset and practice go hand in hand. Part 16, Train your brain step by step. Let's review a simple daily routine you can follow to train your brain to speak English naturally. Morning. Think in English as you get ready. Describe your actions out loud. Afternoon. Listen to an English podcast or short story. Shadow the speaker for 5 minutes. Evening. Write down 3 sentences about your day in English. Speak them aloud to yourself. Do this every day for 1 month and you'll see real changes. Your brain will start to switch to English faster and speaking will feel more natural. Part 17, Common Mistakes to Avoid. As you train your brain, be careful of these common mistakes. 1. Focusing too much on grammar. Grammar is useful, but don't let it stop you from speaking. Fluency comes from practice, not perfection. 2. Comparing yourself to others. Everyone learns differently. Focus on your own progress. 3. Being afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're learning. Every time you speak, you improve. 4. Studying without speaking. You can't train your speaking brain by only reading. You must use your voice. 5. Giving up too soon. Language learning takes time. Stay consistent. Your brain will catch up. Part 18. Your brain is a muscle. Remember this simple truth. Your brain is like a muscle. If you train it with English every day, it becomes stronger and faster. If you don't use it, it becomes weak. So, don't wait for the perfect moment or perfect grammar. Start today. Speak today. Think today. Your brain will thank you tomorrow. Conclusion. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Train your brain to speak in English. We've learned that fluency doesn't come from memorizing grammar or vocabulary alone. It comes from creating strong English habits, thinking in English, and practicing speaking regularly. Your brain learns what you repeat. So make English a part of your daily life, in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Word Journey, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new English lesson. And in the comments below, tell us, how do you train your brain to speak English? We'd love to hear your strategies and ideas. Remember, every word you speak brings you closer to fluency. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep growing on your word journey. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.